The following program contains incessant calls to battle with the unsavory. If you suffer from squeaky clean-handedness, Randall might not be right for you. Check with your local Pharisee.
Proclaiming the truth in the highways and byways of the world. Fighting for justice in the dark alleys of politics. Raising the voice of resistance to a fevered pitch. And he knows where to find the best and worst jail food in America. Randall Terry.
I don't have no more energy. I wanted to be very spontaneous today, and I wanted to bust a move, and I wanted to dance, but then somebody said I was sneaky, and I started to feel something down deep in my soul. It ain't sneakiness, no, homeboy, it's wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and we are gonna have one heck of a program today. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the nation's most notorious baby killers opening up a death camp here in Washington, D.C. And is Hillary Clinton the victim of sabotage from the Obama camp? And the GOP ready for a showdown. Today's program brought to you in part by WikiLeaks, bringing powerful people down one woman at a time. And brought to you by the GOP, ready to fight anytime, any place. Like sissies. Oh, stop. I'll go to my good friend Jihad Granny for a quick word and then into today's programming.
Allah Akbar. Good morning, boys and girls. You know, good Muslim, I love peace. I wish peace everywhere in world. If only people submit everywhere to Allah, then we have peace everywhere. Peace from Mecca to Cordoba house to your house.
Welcome back to the program, friends. It's great to be back broadcasting live. I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving time with your family and friends, and that you gave thanks to Almighty God for the good things in your life, and even when possible, that we give him some thanks for the difficulties, because it's the difficulties that make us stronger, as much as we don't want to admit it. All right, before I go to today's news, a little bit of personal news. If you Google my name, Randall Terry, in quotes, go to news or go to blogs, you will see an enormous amount of press that has been made over the last 10 days. I am praying, thinking about running for president. I ask your prayers about that. You'll also see an awful lot about me and John Boehner becoming good friends. Yeah, Mr. Boehner and I, we go way back in all them high-class fundraisers with the Republicans, sipping fancy champagne and wine, raising money for multi-millionaires. Yeah, me and John, we're thick as thieves together. No, actually we're not. But there is a concerted effort being exerted right now to tie the future Speaker of the House to me, to try and discredit him. I can't help I'm in tall cotton. It's all because right after the election, we went to his office and put that list of demands to him. You saw it on this program. If you go to the archives, you can see it. It'll be the Monday of Thanksgiving week. And we said, look, we're not playing. If you don't defund Planned Parenthood, we will run primaries against you. This is not a request, it is a demand. And Mr. Boehner, you and your associates are on probation. So, lest there be any confusion that John Boehner and I are good buddies, we're not. I wish him well. I hope that he does well as the Speaker of the House. But folks, the proof is in the pudding, and we are not interested in rhetoric. We're interested in actions. Now, to the news. Demonic monster, vile, despicable baby killer, Leroy Carhart, has decided to participate in a death camp here in the Washington, D.C. area. You may or may not know, Mr. Carhart is one of the few child killers in the country that kills babies in the second and even in the third trimester. These are babies that are what are medically termed viable. It means that they can live outside of the womb. Let me say something to you, you demon-possessed, vile human being, Mr. Carhart. No, come closer. Mr. Carhart, let me just say this to you. Number one, we will use every legal means at our disposal to expose you for the vile, I love that word vile, because you are vile, obscene. You are a mass murderer. We will use everything at our disposal to expose you in this community. And I can only hope that you live long enough to see child killing made illegal again, and then for you to be tried by a jury of your peers and to stand trial for your life in a court of law because of the murders that you have committed. Have a great eternity. All right, let's go to the news. The news is abuzz with Hillary Clinton and the U.S. leaking 15,000 documents. 15,000 documents, many of them highly sensitive. Some of them could cost people their lives. Okay, literally, there could be people dead as a result of these leaks. It's horrifying. It's a horrific breach. One question that somebody asked was, is Hillary Clinton a victim? A victim? She's a victimizer. She's a perpetrator. She's a villain of the first order. How could she possibly be a victim? Well, good question. It's possible. I hate to admit this because Andrew came up with it and he's supposed to just spin dials, not give me input. It's possible that somebody in the Obama administration wanted to take her out politically as a potential candidate against Obama in 2012. And this might be the very thing that does it. We'll keep you posted on that. And finally, for this segment, Mitch McConnell, owner of the Boneless Chicken Ranch. Oh, Mitch McConnell, he raises boneless chickens. Mitch McConnell has told the Democrats that there will be no legislation that comes before the Senate until they deal with the continuing resolution and with the extension of the Bush tax cuts. George Bush, I thought his name was never to be spoken again here in Washington, D.C. It's a cursed word, Bush. Oh. Well, evidently right now it's far enough away from 2008 where people are starting to miss George. Remember that bumper sticker? I miss George. Hell, I miss Jimmy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like the Republican leadership. I don't trust the Republican leadership, and I have no idea where they're going to take us. But extending the Bush tax cuts is a critical issue at this moment in time. But listen to me. At this point, the crisis is overspending. In my next segment, I'm going to talk about the commission that President Obama has put in place to talk about fiscal responsibility. And I don't think President Obama is going to like it. All right? I don't think he's going to like what they have to say. You're going to love what I have to say. Remember, you are watching the #1 Tea Party television show in America. You know how we know? Because I said so. I'll be right back.
The mountain roads in West Virginia are outfitted with signs that say, "Look out for fallen rocks." To which my father said, "Let the fallen rocks look out for themselves."
Moments with Moses. And you shall pine away in your enemies' lands because of their iniquity, and also because of the iniquities of their fathers, they shall pine away like them.
Hello, and welcome to my program. I'm very happy to have my own television show, and I'm very thankful that you are watching it with my friends.
Let's go to the news. The Federal Debt Commission was impaneled by President Obama last February. It's a bipartisan commission to look at the federal debt. This is made up of people who are not currently holding office, so there's not as much political pressure on them. I say as much because, after all, as my wife so adroitly said, they are politicians. I want to read you this quote. The Bipartisan Debt Commission issued its final report Wednesday, warning that without the sacrifices it calls for, a fiscal reckoning will be sure and the devastation severe. Severe devastation. What would that look like? The bombing of London? Another Great Depression? The collapse of Wall Street? Just what is severe devastation? Well, we're not exactly sure. But when you have people on a commission of this nature who are truly educated and have their finger on the pulse, saying that sacrifice is necessary. Oh my gosh, I've never heard that word. Sacrifice is necessary, not the good ship lollipop. And that severe devastation awaits if we don't make sacrifices, then maybe, just maybe, somebody's starting to buy a clue. Let me be perfectly frank with you. There is a fight whether or not they will get the 14 votes. They want to have 14 votes out of the 18 to say to the president, yes, we all concur with this. It may or may not happen. The co-chairs have said, we don't care if we get 14 votes or 2 votes. Former Senator Simpson is one, and the other one, I apologize, Erskine Bowles, who was the chief of staff in Clinton's administration. So we've got 2 heavy hitters, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican, who are the co-chairs of this commission. They say, we don't care if you get 2 votes or 14. We're not going to whitewash this. We are not going to whitewash it. But here's the thing. I want to read you one other part of this. It said changes to the proposal have brought much criticism, and the final draft offered few changes. But understanding Social Security's role as the third rail in American politics, the proposal includes deficit projections with or without changes to the program. Once again, we see that in the socialist plantation, it is Social Security, Medicare, and then, by extension, Medicaid that are driving the socialist engines. Tea Party friends, you've got to take these to believe that Social Security is off limits. Listen to this line. You heard it here first. I'm going to coin it. I'm going to try and use it over and over again. I had a meeting here at the house yesterday, and I talked with a lot of friends, a lot of co-laborers, and 3 or 4 of them are actually receiving a Social Security check right now. And we talked about the need to completely phase out and altogether eliminate Social Security and Medicare. And one of them was frankly shocked. She said, what have you got against Medicare and Social Security? My life would come unglued without it. And I said, we would phase it out. You're not going to lose what you have. And then she said, I've paid in my whole life. And here's the thought that occurred to me. We didn't pay in, we paid out. We did not pay into the system, we paid out to general expenditures, to submarines and bombs, to welfare, for roads, for whatever. There's no money in a trust fund. It's filled with IOUs, okay? The money has been stolen. The people who are running the Social Security Trust Fund would be in prison if they worked for General Motors. If they just took all of the money that was supposed to be set aside for someone's retirement and they spent it, they'd be in prison. We've got criminals running the federal plantation, and people like me, people like you, are not paying into a system. We are paying out. We're paying out the wazoo. We're paying out the nose. We're paying our money into a black hole. And it is fundamentally immoral to force someone to work for the benefit of another against their will. That's slavery. That's theft. It's not compassion, okay? We've been sold a bill of goods, and we're going to have to back out of it. And until we do, the debt is going to continue to grow. The tax burden is going to have to stay enormously high, just like it is now. We're going to have deficits year after year, and they're going to have to keep borrowing money to pay for these federal programs, and it's going to be my children and your children that are saddled with this damnable debt. And I say that with surgical, biblical precision. It's damnable. It's actually evil. It's from the underworld. To try and enslave people in this way for money is evil. It is actually morally wrong, okay? And we are desperate for men and women to go into the political arena who will just say it like it is, okay? Like Tom Petty said, take your stand at the gates of hell and I won't back down. I'm going to start singing it. And I won't back down. Come on, baby. There ain't no easy way out. I'll take a break.
Have you even done one story one story.
An appeaser is one who feeds the crocodile, hoping it will eat him last. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. Let me tell you something about the peaceful religion of Islam. Number one, it ain't peaceful. Number two, hell, it ain't even a religion. It's more like a military blueprint for the subjugation of the whole earth under the heel of Sharia law. Oh, take that and put it in your corn-cob pipe and smoke it. All right. You might have remembered that the Thanksgiving bombing of Mohammed, that's the guy's name, Mohammed, didn't go off. He wanted to kill thousands of people. Can I just ask the question? Is anybody but me starting to see that the name Mohammed, the founder of Islam, is connected to acts of violence, to murder? I am in a master's program on international terrorism, and for a paper that I just wrote, here was the question for the thesis, and I quote, how are the words of the Quran and the Hadith used to recruit and deploy Muslim suicide bombers? Now, if you're a regular watcher of this program, you know that the Hadith are the words and deeds of Muhammad that are not in the Quran. And there are literally hundreds of thousands of passages that dwarf the Bible and the Quran together of the words and deeds of Muhammad that are not in the Quran, okay? So they're really critical in the Islamic schema. Listen to these words from Muhammad. By him in whose hands my life is, were it not for some men amongst the believers who dislike to be left behind me and whom I cannot provide with means of conveyance, I would certainly never remain behind in any army unit setting out in Allah's cause. By him in whose hands my life is, I would love to be martyred in Allah's cause and then get resurrected and then get martyred and then get resurrected again and then get martyred and then get resurrected again and then get martyred. That's the founder of Islam, people. That's Muhammad, okay? And for those of you who don't know, martyrdom in the Islamic schema is about death in jihad. You are fighting. The martyr is not somebody who's dying for their beliefs like a Christian or a Jew being tortured to give up the words of their faith. It's somebody who is killed while they are in battle. In this paper, I looked at 70 passages in the Hadith that had the word martyr or martyred, and of the 70, about 88, 89% dealt solely with dying in battle. That's what it means to be a martyr, to die in battle. So when Muhammad says, oh, I'd go and get killed and get resurrected and get martyred again and get resurrected in Allah's cause, that's talking about fighting to subdue the earth to Islam. Let me read one more. We're about out of time, but let me read one more. Allah's apostle said, none is wounded in Allah's cause, but will come on the day of resurrection with his wound bleeding. The thing that will come out of his wound will be the color of blood, but its smell will be the smell of musk. Ooh, what are you wearing? Blood musk. Yes, the cologne of martyrs. This is the stuff that motivates suicide bombers and that motivated Mohammed, and it comes straight from the founder of Islam's mouth. We're going to have some policy discussions for domestic and international policy that are going to be very distasteful, friends. I got to take a quick break. I'll be right back. He will execute judgment among the nations, filling them with corpses. He will shatter chiefs over the wide earth. John Quincy Adams said, the command to propagate the Muslim creed by the sword is always obligatory when it can be made effective. The commands of the prophet may be performed alike by fraud or by force. John Quincy Adams was not constrained by political correctness. You want to see what a former president thought about Islam? Do some research on John Quincy Adams. In closing, let me say this. In the Judeo-Christian scheme, a martyr is somebody who is taken against their will because of their faith and tortured and killed because they won't deny that faith. In the Muslim schema, that is somebody who chooses to die by going out to fight the infidel and hopefully to die so that they can go to heaven and get the virgins and get the blood musk. See you tomorrow.